It's now time for On Point, where we speak to experts to delve deeper into the biggest news stories in the spotlight right now. Of course, spring season is well underway and flowers are already blossoming, but have you noticed that there's something missing? Well, you might have noticed that there's not a lot of bees these days.
Well, I've definitely noticed that, Sung-jan. Well, in fact, the number of bees have been declining at an alarming rate, raising major concerns for scientists and environmentalists alike. So why is there a decline in the bee population, and what kinds of impact could it have? For this, we connect with Dr. Choi Yong-soo, an apiculturist of the Department of the Agricultural Biology at the National Institute of Agricultural Science. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Choi.
Hello.
It's lovely to see you. And, well, first off, bees have been on the decline, the population of bees, to the point where I don't think I've seen a single bee this spring. So it's sort of a broad question, Dr. Chair, but why is there such a decline in the bee population?
Yes, the recent deaths of honeybees in Korea can be expressed as the winter loss. In order to find out the cause of the deaths of honeybees in winter, we visited damaged beekeepers across the country, starting in the southern region from January. According to the survey, two main causes of the recent honeybee deaths were estimated. One is climate change, and the other is drought, thought to be the outbreak of viral mite in colony. In detail, it was very warm in February, March, and April last year. As a result, acacia flower bloomed early, and in May and June, when honey was produced by honeybee, low temperature, strong winds, and rainfall made it difficult to collect honey from flowers. Honey productivity has been poor for 2 years due to these weather factors. The decrease of honey productive caused honeybee to lose their immunity and shorten their lifespan, as honeybees cannot eat honey other than the fact that beekeepers' income have decreased. As honeybees' immunity weaken and their lifespan decrease, the occurrence of disease and pests increased in honeybees. And it's difficult to control honeybees in Korea if they cannot control them in the early stage, because they have resistance to the insecticidal materials that they use. Therefore, early control is the most important, but last year many honeybees occurred early. In addition, in order for honeybees to survive stable in winter, many worker bees must be secured in September and October. But due to the occurrence of honeybees and irregular weather condition in autumn, they started wintering without enough young worker bees. Finally, we from mid-November to mid-December last year, honeybees whose immune system was reduced due to the warm weather were the outside hives. Honeybees can die, many worker bees.
Another thing that we want to kind of talk about is, I understand that climate change obviously had a huge reason for why there's a decline in honeybee population, but we've also been seeing a large number of wildfires occur in the eastern regions of the country, which happens to be some of the regions where you're seeing a decline in bee population there. So did that have to do with also the decline in bee population?
The forest fire did not significantly reduce the bee population. Unfortunately, it is worrisome that many honey production trees have been burned down due to forest fires, and the food of honeybees has been reduced. I worry about it.
And Dr. Chair, well, how much of an impact will the decline in bee population have on Korea's agricultural scene in the short run and in the long term?
70% of the world's top 100 crops are pollinated by honeybees. If honeybees go extinct, humans cannot survive. in the short term, if the number of honeybees continues to decrease in Korea, the production of crop pollinated by honeybees decreased, leading to an increase in crop price. In the long term, if honeybees become extinct, it will be difficult for Koreans to survive due to food storage.
Yeah, from what I understand, again, just if bees do go extinct, something like the human race can only survive about 3 years is what I saw. So I guess the big question now is, how do you solve the problem of bee population decline? What are some of the things that we can do in our daily lives to help, I guess, increase the bee population?
First, it is important to plant many flowering trees to provide a good habitat for honeybees to live where from spring to autumn. Second, the people need to be considerate and respectful of beekeepers because beekeepers protect honeybee so we can survive.
Well, we must be nice to the beekeepers, of course, and do what we can in order to survive, to help these bees survive. Very critical for humanity, it seems, according to what you said, Dr. Che. Thank you so much for your insights today, and have a lovely weekend.
Yes, thank you.